Hey, my name is Ashley Russell, and I'm recording this to speak my truth tonight. I'm 38 years old, and I think it's time for me to let my voice be heard. So, with that being said, here I go. I'm from Jackson, Tennessee. 38 years old, single mom of two. To all the judges, social workers, people like that of Madison County in Jackson, Tennessee. Back in 1993, I was not a body in your court, but just a name, because my mom made me go to school the day that the verdict was being read of where my ex-stepfather had molested me. And in exchange for a guilty plea on a 12-year sentence, he was able to plead out to a class D and E felony instead of an A and B, and did 11 months, 29 days in the local penal farm. I'm not doing this video as a victim. I'm doing this as a survivor, because I don't want anybody to have to grow up and battle like I do every single day in my own head. I'm my own worst enemy, because lack of better judgment, but it's they do everything in the best interest of the child. I was just a name, though. You didn't see my body. If you would have seen my body, you would maybe have been able to tell that this had more of an effect than 11 months and 29 days. It was a life sentence for me. I know that some people aren't going to like this, but I got to speak my truth, because I'm on borrowed time, and I don't want to get to heaven and God be like, Ashley, I gave it to you. You didn't use your gift. Why? And because you're scared of what people would say? Nah, ain't worth that, so I'm going to speak my truth. Anyways, so I grew up in the system. On a 12-year sentence, my ex-stepfather was, in exchange for a guilty plea, able to do 11 months, 29 days in the penal farm, where the very night he got out, even though he wasn't supposed to be around me till I was 18, my mom started sneaking him back into our house. A child's home environment needs to be safe. It's detrimental to their health. I know that social workers, DAs, whatever, if you haven't been through it, you might not have known, and out of sight, out of mind. I get that. I really do. But unfortunately, it's caused me to not be able to keep a connection, even with my own kids. I can't be in a relationship because my perspective was altered. And when a kid's abused in their own home and they don't feel safe, this is what happens. They grow up to be adults with mental health issues. I've been diagnosed with borderline personality disorder, CPTSD, which is complex, which is prolonged trauma, exposed to prolonged trauma. And it's left me with a very hard life to live, to say the least. While he is out and gets to do whatever, I'm stuck with an income of only $23 a month on disability since the age of 23. And it sucks. It's hard to raise 2 kids on just an income of a disability. God has been good to me. Very good. I thank Him for all my blessings. I guess that's why I'm here tonight, because I gotta let my voice be heard. My voice in court back in 1993 was my ex-stepdad's sister. She had a different last name. Nobody ever called it out. I was at school. I was just kidding Larry's, who was really going to listen to me. I struggle every single day with depression, with trust, in just anybody. It doesn't matter. At the age of 18, I started having seizures. I've been diagnosed with idiopathic epilepsy now, which is, they don't know what caused them. Unnecessary stress is a trigger. How do you, stop that? You can't, because life is life. I just want someone to hear this and see this and know that these little kids, they grow up to be adults, and then they grow up to be parents. And they've got these issues where they can't even stay connected with their child after they go to sleep and wake up the next morning. It sucks. And I love my daughters. I wouldn't trade them for anything in the world. But I fight a battle in my head every single day. I've struggled all my life with self-confidence issues to the point where I used to not turn on the bathroom light when I would go to the bathroom. Crazy. But direct result of what happens when kids aren't really taken seriously in the justice system. I mean, I don't want to mess my kids up. And I feel like I'm failing them already, because I can't be in a stable, healthy relationship because of my own self. And it sucks so bad. They don't know what it's like to have a mom and a dad in the same household. Never had it. A kid's home environment is important. And when the people that are supposed to love and protect them don't, and it's left in the justice system's hands, just another name. But that's not it. I'm somebody. I matter. My life matters. I guess I want to say to whoever's watching this, you know you better than anybody else on this earth. If you've got a mental issue, go get help, especially if you have kids. Don't pass it down to the justice system. Man, you failed me. But even worse now, you're failing my kids. Because I was in a 7-year domestic violence relationship where I told the people, I can't get away from this guy. I don't know how to say no. When he comes back, I'm just going to let him back in. Because I could dissociate. Little did I know that it was going to have the effect on my kids that it had. And I carry guilt for that every day. I know God forgives me, but I want to make it better. I want to do them right. And this is the thing with the justice system. You give restitution to people, but you don't have anyone to enforce it. This guy, and it even says in his papers, that he did it for personal pleasure. I was 8 to 10 years old. Very much a kid. He was very much an adult. He was married to my mom up until about 6 or 7 years ago. He did it for his own personal pleasure. And I have had to serve the lifetime sentence. I didn't get the therapy that I needed because I guess once he got out, my mom started sneaking him back in, like, she didn't want me to tell the wrong person, and then, y'all, this is a real problem. Real life. I live in fear every day because of myself. Because my perspective was shaped on the world at such a young age, and it's real hard to change that. So I trust no one. I think, everybody's gonna hurt me. As soon as somebody tells me they love me, it's like a switch. I'm gonna hurt you. That's what I hear. I try to read as much as I can and try to heal myself. There's only so much you can do, As far as a person, I take medicine for my seizures. That's a controlled substance. My mom says I abuse them. But I want to know I am off of medicine. And people don't just, they're not just born bad. People don't want to go to jail. People don't want to just shoot somebody else. There's a root to everything. There's a root to every drug addiction. Every person that has addiction to stealing, or I've been there, done it. But it wasn't because I wanted to. It was because I didn't know how to deal with life. But I know I want better for my kids. I want to be better for my kids. But I can't do it unless the justice system is on my side. And like I said, I'm a survivor, not a victim. So when I got the letter where I was denied the restitution that was granted in my case, because it was so many years later, I guess they were out of sight, out of mind too, because they had never been through it. It's hard to ask questions when the man that molested you lives in the same house as you still. I didn't even know that the restitution was granted. Yet, when my 2 daughters witnessed someone choking me unconscious, they were denied victim compensation fund in the state of Tennessee. I don't know why. But if these kids, they're our future. They're gonna be the ones running this world one day. And $823 is not a lot to live on per month. pray this falls in front of the right eyes, and somebody will hear my voice for the first time in my life at 38 years old. I've sat back and listened a lot. It's not an easy thing for me to just step up, because I don't know, it's just not. But I don't want to get to heaven and God be like, why'd you waste your gift? I gave you a gift and you didn't use it. I gave you a platform and you didn't stand up. Kids are so innocent, and they didn't ask to be born. They didn't ask to be here. But the key to your future is you. And I want my kids to remember me as not my mom that cried every day, or that was sad or mad and yelled all the time. I don't want them to remember me that way, because I'm so much more. I'm sorry. I got a passion for this, y'all. I got a passion to where I can't let these kids down. So I am going to stand up and I'm going to speak my truth. And I don't care who says what. Because they're not me. Let's save our world, y'all. We're not promised tomorrow. We've all got a job to do here. I think mine is to put my voice out there and let my voice be heard. Because it didn't have to go down like this. But I will get justice in the end. Totally believe that. Life's short. Good night.